Please note that this video was recorded before the Yushin's 3x3 review, so my opinion about the Moyu Hualong has changed, and it's no longer my main. Hey guys, what's up? ZNCuber here, and in this video, I'll be comparing Moyu's latest two flagship 3x3s, the Moyu Aolong version 2 and the Moyu Hualong. Alright, so the way this comparison is going to work is I am going to be rating both these tubes on 5 different categories. First category is speed, second, ease of control, third is corner cutting, 4, locks and popping, and finally, overall performance. Alright, so let's get started with talking about the performance of the Aolong version 2. So, for speed, it's very fast. Not as fast as the Hualong though, but it's still decently fast and suitable for beginners and advanced tubers alike. It has a really smooth but crunchy, not really crunchy, but crispy and bumpy feeling, which I think a lot of tubers will like, just like I do. Overall, speed is pretty good and the feel is absolutely amazing. So 9 out of 10 for speed, but it could be a little bit faster because some tubers like faster tubes rather than slower ones. Alright, for speed on the Hualong, it's a totally different story. It's very fast, definitely noticeably faster than the Aolong, but it has a really different feeling. Out of the box, it is sandy, but after you've broken it in, it's smooth but really extremely crunchy, which I'm not a huge fan of, but I know a lot of tubers will enjoy the crunchy feeling. But overall, nice feeling though, and really good speed. So for speed, 10 out of 10. Alright, so moving on to our next category, which is ease of control. Now, the Aolong version 2 does very well in this category because of its slower speed compared to some other top-end speed cubes. Now, even though it's slow, it gives it a huge advantage when it comes to being able to control itself very nicely. So ease of control, obviously 10 out of 10, very good, and this is why I would recommend this tube to a beginner. Alright, let's take a look at how ease of control goes with the Hualong. Now, as I said previously, this is a really speedy tube, and that questions me of how this does with being easy to control. Is it for beginners? And the answer is no. It's not easy to control, especially for beginners, and I'm not a beginner anymore. I'm a almost 30 solver, and I still find it hard to control these cubes at times. But if I do, and I'm able to control this has shown me lots of new limits. I am blazing fast with it, and but if I can control this, I would rather use my Aolong V2 a lot more. So sorry, but controllability, or you can say ease of control, 8 out of 10. Our next category is corner cutting. For the Aolong V2, it does very well in corner cutting. 45 degrees with ease, even on this fairly tight tensions. It's pretty tight. Can go a little bit past that, almost to this line, and it still kind of cuts with some force. Reverse, 3/4 of a QB. If you're cutting at small amounts, very easy. So for corner cutting, I would give it a 9 out of 10. It's not the best, but it's definitely enough to avoid most locks. Now, the Hualong was advertised to have 60 degrees corner cutting, and even on this fairly loose tensions, it's proving that it's not quite the case. I mean, you can cut for 55 degrees, but it will lock if you go just a bit more. So, I mean, the corner cutting is, let me get this straight, the corner cutting is not bad. It's just that tubes these days like have pretty much the same amount of corner cutting, and it's nothing that spectacular. But it's definitely really good corner cutting. 45, you can go over it. I said 55 degrees, about there, and reverse. 3/4 of a QB, just like the Aolong V2. Very good. So 9 out of 10 again, because it avoids most locks. Alright, so probably one of the most important aspects of a speed cube these days is, does it lock up or does it pop? Now, the Aolong V2 is very good at preventing both those cases. It doesn't pop that much unless I have a really ridiculous loose tensions, but otherwise it doesn't pop. it just doesn't. The mechanism is really good at preventing that, so I'm just gonna say it doesn't pop. So very good. It will get a pretty good score just because of that. But it does lock up sometimes, but really infrequently. It basically almost never locked because of its amazing corner cutting. So 9 out of 10 for locks and pops prevention. Moving on to the Hualong. Because it's very speedy and it's hard to control, and that can cause some lockups, because if I turn bad, if it's hard to control and I overshoot, that can cause lockups. And also this tube is a little bit unstable for some reason. You just want to wobble around, as you see, and sometimes I get really weird lockups, like complete whole tube lockups, but that's pretty infrequent. And I mean, most of the times this tube doesn't lock up at all, so it's not as good as the Aolong V2, but it's still fairly good. So I'll give it an 8 out of 10 for prevention of locks and pops. So the last category of this comparison is going to be overall performance. Now, for the Aolong V2, it definitely performs very well, and I gotta say it's amazing. But there is a issue with this tube, is its corner twisting problem, and it happens kind of frequently, which is annoying because this tube is supposed to fix the corner twisting issue from the V1, so that's kind of weird. But it doesn't happen that often, and it doesn't bother me that much to a point that I wouldn't use it, but it is kind of annoying at times. So for overall performance, this tube gets a 9 out of 10. For overall performance for the Hualong, it's going to receive a 10 out of 10. That might be really surprising because the Aolong has been doing much better than the Hualong. Not much better, but better than the Hualong in almost every category. Now the reason why, it all comes down to personal preference, because I have a rough turning style and it just makes my hand tired to use a slower tube. So I can tube for a longer time without being tired if I use a speedy tube such as the Hualong. So that's why I use it. That's why I give it a 10 out of 10 for overall performance. But both these tubes are great. I have no problem using either one of them as my main, so don't get me wrong on that. Now the corner twisting, yes, this fixed the corner twisting issue. It's much harder to corner twist on this one than on the Aolong V2, because this tube is just really easy to corner twist. Look how easy that is. So also, this fixed the corner twisting issue, which was a big save for me, because this got really annoying if it just corner twists in like every 5 solves. So yeah, overall performance 10 out of 10. Okay, so let's go ahead and end this comparison off of talking about recommendations and which tube is for you. So both these tubes are great. The Aolong V2 gets a 46 out of 50, and the Moyu Hualong gets a 45 out of 50. Now, the score for the Aolong V2 is just 1 point higher, but I would recommend these tubes to different people. For the Aolong though, if you have a, I guess, lighter turning style, I would recommend this much more, and if you're a beginner, this would be a great first speed tube. This can also suit speed tubers with much faster speed. But for the Moyu Hualong, it's basically only good to very fast solver. Now the only reason it works for me, because I just get tired using this tube, and this just flows for me. It flows much nicely, and I just perform more. But that's basically my personal preference. And if you like the Aolong, go with the Aolong. If you like the Hualong, go with that. Just depends on what you like. So I would recommend you check out both these tubes at thecubicle.us. I'll leave links and an annotation on the screen right now. So go ahead and check them out, the great tube store, and subscribe. See you in the next video.